knows a lot about the science stuff. Professor Dave explains.
We just examined the two lowest tiers on the scale of ecology, organisms and populations. When populations of different species can be found in the same location, this constitutes a community. So how do ecologists study communities? Community ecologists focus on interactions between populations of different species and how these interactions shape the communities where they live. This includes not just the study of the interactions of species, such as mutualism, predation, and competition, but also the dynamics and structure of the community. How is it organized? How does it function? In a nutshell, community ecology examines how coexisting organisms interact and compete in a particular niche or geographical location, such as woodland, prairie, or lake. Let's start by defining the different kinds of interactions between populations of species. Mutualism is a symbiotic relationship that is beneficial to both organisms involved. This occurs when two organisms of different species work together, and each reaps benefits that increase survivability. The oxpecker, a kind of bird, and the zebra are one such example. The bird gets food in the form of ticks and other parasites on the zebra's skin, while the zebra gets a kind of pest control. Going a little deeper, mutualism can take two forms. When the species are entirely dependent on each other, this is called obligate mutualism. An easy way to remember this is that both organisms are obligated or forced to rely on one another. An example of this is mycorrhizal fungi with hyphae that exchange crucial nutrients with plant roots. In other situations where the species can survive on their own, like the bird-zebra relationship we mentioned, this is called facultative mutualism. Another example of obligate mutualism is the yucca plant and the moth. The flower of the yucca plant in the habitat of the arid climate of the southwestern United States relies on the moth for the pollination process. In turn, the moth benefits by laying its own eggs on the flower and feeding the larvae with the seeds. Honeybees and plants are another example of facultative mutualism, given that honeybees visit many different plant species for nectar, and the plants receive a number of different insect visitors for pollination. Now let's look at the opposite of mutualism, predation and competition. The former is when one population is the resource of the other, while the latter is when individuals seek to obtain the same environmental resource. Think of competition as occurring horizontally on the same resource level, while predation takes place vertically between different resource levels. These are still ecological relationships, but they're not symbiotic ones. The best known examples of predation include carnivorous interactions, in which one animal consumes another, like when wolves hunt moose or owls hunt mice. If there's an increase in predation in a community or any other source of mortality, this will generally reduce the absolute change in density of consumers, simply because the direct impact of predators is to reduce the numbers of their prey. While the term reducing seems negative, predators are often a positive influence on communities and can increase diversity. They do this by hunting dominant species, which reduces the pressure on or overconsumption of foundation species, those species that have a strong role in structuring a community by providing habitat structure and food. Some examples of foundation species are corals, kelp beds, seagrass meadows, or hardwood trees. Predation can have a positive effect when the predators feed more on the dominant competitors that would otherwise use up all of the community's resources, which organisms are competing for. Animals fight over territory, food, water, and shelter. Plants compete for light exposure, pollinators, and soil nutrients. Microbes compete for nutrients and chemical substrates. Competition is important in an ecosystem, as the best competitors are the ones who survive and pass along their genes. Their offspring have an increased chance of survival because their parents outcompeted other species and passed down the genetic tools that help them succeed. What can affect population size? It comes down to the availability of food, which can act as a bottom-up control. In years when preferred food is abundant, populations are able to grow. As predator populations increase in response to the growth of consumer populations, they put greater strain on the prey populations and act as a top-down control, pushing the prey towards a state of decline to keep the community in balance. While the presence of a predator can decrease the growth rate of a population, that doesn't affect the overall carrying capacity, which is reliant on the availability of resources. So, how does predation drive population dynamics? When predators are scarce, prey increases in abundance. As their food source increases, predators increase in abundance. When the predators reach sufficiently high numbers, the prey population is driven down to low numbers. With a scarcity of food, the predator population declines, and the cycle repeats. We should also discuss how predation drives selection. Predators are effective agents of natural selection because they possess key traits that allow them to capture and consume their prey. They adopt different strategies to hunt, which can drive prey evolution to increase their likelihood of survival. With communities covered, let's now pull back even farther to take a look at ecosystems.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe to my channel for more tutorials. Support me on Patreon so I can keep making content. And as always, feel free to email me, ProfessorDaveExplains@gmail.com.